down in Virginia, and we were talking about when I first moved down there, how I wanted to leave. And as soon as I moved down there, I had wanted to get out of Virginia, and it was the DC sniper story. This DC sniper situation is happening for me 2002. It was 2002 to be exact. And I'm originally from New Jersey, and I had moved. Well, just to give you why. Well, just to tell you why I went to Virginia. This was 2002. I moved to Virginia. Prior to that, I went down there for a wedding. A friend of mine got married, and I liked it down there, like the area where he lived at. And I ended up moving to Virginia. Not shortly after that, maybe a year after that. But the wedding was in 2001. It was his wedding was right after 9/11, actually. So it took me a while to actually move to Virginia after that. But so I remember I had got a call. He was like, "Hey man, because I was in between jobs. I had just got laid off of Prudential. I was working at Prudential at the time, and he said, "Hey man, you need a job?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Remember you said you liked it down here. It's your opportunity to move down here." And I thought about it. I said, "Let me think about it real quick." He said, "Yeah, man, but you gotta let me know soon." So I called him back like, "Hell with it. I'm gonna come for the interview." So I went down for the interview and all of that. It was at a lab, environmental lab in Richmond. And then I went back to New Jersey. Then 2 days later I got the call, say I got the job. So then he said, "Well, here's the problem though. Can you work? You gotta be ready to work next Monday." So I'm like, hell man, I moved all my stuff, man, and moved down to Virginia. This is in 2002. So DC sniper. So this was crazy, bro. DC sniper situation. The DC snipers were John Muhammad and Lee Boyd Malvo. Lee Boyd Malvo is still locked up right now, but John Muhammad was put to death in Virginia. Um, so I remember, man, when as soon as I got down, I lived with a friend of mine and his wife for a minute. I lived with them for about a week. Then I got my apartment, and then I moved in. I didn't really have any furniture or anything. I remember going to Walmart and buying a TV. I bought a TV and I bought a bed somewhere, and that was it. That's all the furniture I had. And the crazy part about it was, I turned on the news one night, and they were talking about he could possibly get out one day. So I turned on the news one day, and they said it's a sniper on the loose in the DMV area. I said DMV, that's DC Metro Virginia. I was like, what? And I was like, okay, well he not gonna come this far down Virginia. I'm in Richmond, so I'm about an hour from DC. He's not coming this way. So I remember we were at the lab and we got breaking news that the DC sniper had an incident that was like damn near 30 minutes from where I live. I was like, yo, that's like 30 minutes. This thing is getting closer. And I was like, yo, this thing is getting, hold on a second. I was like, yo, this thing is actually getting closer. It's getting closer, too close for call now. And then they had an incident like at a mall area, like at a shopping center, and people were just getting sniped and they couldn't find the person. They said they were looking for a white van. That's what they said. And my boy was like, yo, it ain't getting no closer, yo. It's just it seemed like it's getting close, but it's not getting closer. So then it was like I had just got home and I was sitting there fixing dinner and stuff. Breaking news, there was a sniping about 4 minutes from my house. Okay, 4 minutes from where I'm staying on Parham Road and Broad and Parham. Anybody know about Richmond and Broad and Parham? That's where the shooting took place, and I only live 4 minutes from there. I was like, yo. I called my mother. I said, Mom, they sniping people out here. I gotta go. She was like, she said, yeah, I heard about it. I said, Mom, I'm 4 minutes from there. Yeah, the Exxon. I said, Mom, I'm 4 minutes from Broad and Parham. She said, are you serious? She said, you gotta pack your stuff and leave. I said, they sniping people out here. I said, I thought Newark was bad. That's what I told her. I thought Newark was bad. I said, Mom, they sniping people out here, man. And the people and the type of people they were sniping, it was all races of people. It was no uniform person that they were sniping. They were sniping like people were getting sniped, so they couldn't find the person. And I remember going to everybody going because in Virginia you got to pump your own gas. And I remember I like, damn, I got to pump my own gas out here, Mom. She said, they ain't got nobody to pump your gas. I said, no, we got to get out and pump our own gas. And he's sniping people at gas stations. That's in my mind. That's what I thought. And she was like, well, be on the lookout for a white van. And what do you think I saw? All I saw was white vans. That's all I saw. Look, one just passed me just now, white van, cargo van. And everybody when they were at the pump, they were doing like this. They were like moving around. They're like pumping their gas, like they're doing like this. So in our mind, so he won't get a clear shot on us. So we just gotta keep moving. I'm like this. We like ducking. And then when we put the gas in the car, we get back in the car and do like this. That was crazy. And what I'm about to tell you it's crazy. What I'm about to tell you is it's crazy. So when the sniping happened, it was on the news. What do you think I did after I got off my mother? I didn't even tell her this. What do you think I did? I got in the car and went to the scene. I got in the car and went to the scene. And the thing is, what I found out later really messed me up. Really messed me up after I found out what happened in later on. I went to the scene because I thought the snipers left already because police was everywhere. I'm tired. I got to go to another spot. I had just finished delivering. I got to go to another spot. As a matter of fact, I might just drive there on my way now. Let me see, two. I got a lot of time to kill still, but so I went to the spot because in my mind, the sniper is gone already, right? Because the police around. There's no way the sniper gonna snipe people when the police around. So my boy was like, "Yo," I told him I'm going to the spot. He said, "Yo, you go and pick me up." And he was like, "You sure?" I like, "Yeah, pick me up." So yeah, I picked him up. We went to that Exxon, but everything was roped off. They really did snipe somebody over there. I don't know if they killed that person at that particular spot, but they shot him. I don't think they killed the person. The person survived, I think. But they had the whole area roped off. There was people everywhere. And then now that I know what Lee Boyd Malvo looked like now, guys, when we were out there, they were still on the scene. But I found that out later. There was there was a lot of people out there. There was like hundreds of people out there, and everybody was talking like, "Yo." And I remember this older guy was saying, "You think they still out here?" I said, "Nah, they gone. They gone. They not gonna stay out here after they snipe somebody." And but what we found out later was they were out there with us. That's the crazy part. They were out there with us. John Muhammad and Lee Boy Malvo. They was out there when we were out there because everybody was across the street. So they had to be over there with us because you can count how many black people was out there. They were out there. That's the crazy part. They were out there. And my boy remembers seeing them. I don't remember seeing them. He claims that he remembered. He said he would. He said they were out there when we were out there, and they were standing not too far from us. But I don't remember that. That's to this day that freaks me out because you think that in my mind, I'm going to the scene because they're gone already. This has been like 30 minutes since the news broke. The sniper is nowhere near there again. And we went out there. They were out there because what happened was everybody was looking for a white van because they said it was a white van across the street when it happened. They didn't use a white van. They used a car, an old school car, like a Cutlass or something, like a Cutlass, like a Cutlass or something. But they rigged the trunk so that he could have so he could see, so he could put the muzzle outside of the trunk, so he could see who he getting ready to snipe. They cut a hole in the trunk, so that way, when you hear the shot, you don't know where it came from. Because when they said that he sniped the people out there, they heard the shot very loud, but they don't know where it came from. And they didn't see no white. Somebody said they claimed they saw a white van, and somebody else said they didn't see a white van. But in fact, there was a white van out there. But the white van, after he heard the shot, he got nervous and left. It was like yeah, like a box Chevy. Okay, that's what it was. And old school one. And so when we went out there, we was just like walking around, and I don't remember seeing him. My boy said to this day he swear on. He said he saw him, and he said it freaked him out when he saw their pictures for the first time on TV. He said they were out there with us, bro. And he said, matter of fact, they were standing where we were standing at. I said, I don't remember it. He said, because you so busy paying attention to the police and stuff, but they were with us. They was in the crowd with us. They weren't near us, but they were in the crowd with us. And come to find out later on, when Lee Boy Malvo was talking, he did the shooting on Broad and Parham in Richmond, and he said they were in the crowd. Lee Boy Malvo confirmed it. That's when I believed my boy, because I didn't believe him at first until I heard it from the kid. He said that they were out there, and nobody knew it was them because everybody looking for a white van. And they were out there, man. And that freaked me out, yo, because they were just shooting people at will. It wasn't no rhyme or reason. And the reason why he was doing that so he can create a scene, so when he goes snipe his wife, they're gonna think the sniper did it, so he can get his kids back. That's why he did it. His ex. He wanted to get his kids or something like that. So he was gonna snipe her so that people gonna think that the DC sniper did it, and they're not gonna think he did it, and he'll be able to get his kids back. And John Muhammad, he's a former, he was in the army, and he didn't do no shooting. It was Lee Boy Malvo that did all the shooting, and he was underage at the time, so therefore he didn't get the death penalty. But he's still currently, he's locked up, like right now. I think he be trying to go to the parole board every now and then, but that's what happened there. Now, how they caught him, then no, after the Richmond incident, they sniped some more. And that freaked me out even more because they kept sniping. This time it was like in the Maryland area or somewhere. They were sniping, man. They were like up and down the East Coast, it seemed like, but in the DC Metro Virginia area. And so how they got caught was crazy. Everybody all this time they were looking for a van. They were looking for a white van. I remember they were looking for a white van. Everybody looking for a white van, old school van. But they didn't have a van. They had a car. And then somebody spotted something and alerted the police because after the last shooting, somebody saw the muzzle flash or something, or they knew that there were the people that shot, right? So they contacted the police. They said no, it's not a white van they're in, and they named the car. They had the license plate and everything because somebody saw after the last shooting, somebody witnessed it. So the police had the license plate and the make of the car, And late at night on a radio broadcast, they broadcast it. And somebody at a rest stop saw them. They saw the car, saw the license plate and everything. They contacted the police. The snipers came there and they were sleeping in the car. When they woke up, guns pointed right at them. There was no incident. They got arrested without incident. That was in 2002. That was in 2002, man. And then the story eventually came out that the kid did most of the shooting. The kid did most of the shooting. Like he did all the shooting. And the reason why I guess John did that is because I guess he would not get in trouble because the kid did the shooting and the kid is underage. So in his mind, he thought they would get away with it or somehow. But but yeah, that's what happened right there. Crazy situation, man. That was a crazy story. And they got caught without incident. And what happened was John Muhammad, he had his trial and everything. He was convicted, and they gave him the death penalty. And he gave up a lot of his appeal rights, and they executed him. He got executed within like 2 years after he got convicted. It was real fast, and that was it. But Lee Boyd Malvo, his name is Lee Boyd Malvo. He's still locked up, and I know they were trying to see if he was going to get out, but he's still locked up. He's still locked up. He's still locked up. I got another crazy story for you. I didn't title it, but there's another crazy story that happened near my house. It's freaking crazy. Not near my house. It happened about. They live like probably in Midlothian area. They either lived in Midlothian area or this family either lived in Midlothian. No, did they live in Midlothian or did they live in? Maybe they lived in the Midlothian area. I'm not sure. That's like the suburbs of Richmond. So this happened like a couple years. Me living there because I moved there in 2002. This family, I've been in their store. This family, it was they own like a trinket store. You know, like you could get different trinkets and stuff and certain things from the past and candy and all that stuff. Candy from the past and things like that. They own that type of store slash arts and crafts store. And it was a young couple. They was in their either late 20s or 30s at the time. They had two girls. And this was getting ready for, this was before Christmas. They were like, getting prepared for Christmas and stuff, doing the Christmas tree and everything. And these two guys knocked on their door, and the door was open. They didn't keep their door locked. They went right in the house. They tied the parents up and they tortured everybody. They tortured these people. In fact, during the trial, it was said that they were tortured before they died, and they tortured these people like for several hours, then tried to set the house ablaze. But the guys eventually got caught though, and they got the death penalty as well. And one of them was put to death. I think two of them were put to death already in Virginia. And the crazy part about it was what freaked me out so bad. I've been in those people's store. They were nice as they can be, and they had two little girls. The two parents and the two little girls passed away, and that was crazy, man, because I remember going in their store just looking around with a coworker because I had worked down the street. So this store that they had, it was on Cary Street. Anybody in Richmond, you know about Cary Street. The store was on Cary Street. It was in Carytown. Okay, Cary Street in Carytown. And that's where the store was. Like when you're going down Carytown, going towards the city of Richmond, it was on the right hand side. Not too far from No, let me see. Not too far from this spot called Mary Angela's. It's a pizza place called Mary Angela's, and it freaked me out when I saw it on the news because I had just saw these people not too long ago, and then I was saying I gotta move from Richmond. I said it's demonic down here. I gotta move from here. Every time I turn around, a major killing is on the news. I'm like, I gotta get out of here. But that's rich. That's my story, man, about the DC sniper, man. And to this day, when I go down there, I get gas at that spot because it was also a gas station across the street from it as well, but it's not anymore. It's now a dealership, a Jeep dealership on Parham Road. It's on Broad and Parham. Now a dealership, and it used to be a gas station over there as well. But he didn't shoot the people over there. He shot them over at the Exxon. But he was parked over there near Total Wine. If anybody know about Broad and Parham, you know there's a Total Wine over there. There's like some bushes over there by the Total. That's where he shot them at. He sniped them from over there. That's where the shots came from. It's crazy, but it's crazy, bro. That was a crazy time. So let me see. Hold on one sec. That was a crazy time in history. I think I'm getting ready to probably head up to the other spot. But I wanted to tell that story real quick, man, because somebody was asking me about it. Well, no, I was talking to a friend of mine. He was like, "Man, you remember when you moved to Virginia?" I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Yeah, bro." I was scared, y'all. I ain't gonna lie to you. I about to, I was about to go back to Jersey for real, you know. For real, I was about to go back to Jersey. But that shooting happened. If you know about Broad and Parham, it happened right across the street. They were parked at the Total Wine place across the street, and they sniped the people from over there. Craziness. When I go back to Richmond, I'm going back to Richmond at probably the end of the month. I'm probably gonna record over there to show people where it was at and where I lived at the particular time. It's crazy, bro. Let me get out of here and head on back to where I'm going before I'm late. Shout out to everybody on this Memorial Day. But yeah, John Muhammad was I believe he was a trained sniper for real actually in the army. I think that's what they were saying. Yeah, I think that's what they were saying. Uh, guess I'm going this way. Bruh, I can't even get out of here. I gotta go the other way. But yeah, man, DC sniper. I was like beyond shook, yo. I couldn't even tell you like how shook I was when that was going down. Cause I'm like, yo, are they gonna like just hang out in the area and just snipe people? It's crazy. Cause they were like sniping people at like shopping centers and shopping centers, like gas, like gas, things like that. So a lot of people didn't even want to go out at that particular time. They were just kind of like, it was crazy when we were pumping gas. Everybody was just kind of moving around. Like in our mind, if we like move around, he don't have a clear shot on us. And then what happened was there was a real sniper. I remember he was on the news. He was like, "That's not a sniper that's shooting." He said, "That's not the work of a sniper." He said, "That's a regular person shooting people." And he went on CNN and said that. He said he can tell whoever's. This is before they caught him. He said he could tell whoever's doing it, they're an amateur, and it's not really a sniper. It's just straight up somebody just wanting to kill people. So, but yeah, Lee Boy Malvo, he's a full adult now. Um, he is no way. I don't know if he's ever going to get out. I have to research his case to see if he's ever going to get out. I know they were talking about it before, but they denied him. Yeah, they denied him, but I don't know. I don't know. Is he reformed? What do you think? I don't know. I don't know if he's considered reformed or not. But yeah, guys, that is my DC sniper story. I'm gonna end it here, but I didn't feel like making a dedicated video. I figured I'll just go live real quick and tell my story. I might come back and tell my 9/11 story because during 9/11 I got a crazy story about that as well. Because I was like, I saw it. I saw. I didn't see the buildings come down, but I saw the buildings before it came down. And when I came back, there was no more buildings. When I went to the because I was in New Jersey at the time, we was in the conference room. We could see the World Trade Center from the conference room. And when I came back, because I remember I had to go to the bathroom. When I came back, I'm like, where the buildings go? They said, Max, they fell. So that's crazy. Yeah, that's a crazy story, man. But I'm gonna get out of here.